Hiya, I'm Nigel and this is my 1997 Bentley Turbo R. So I've been having some electrical problems with the switch that controls the fan, the interior fan. So I need to take it off and put a new one in. It's a small switch, it just needs to come off. I need to have a replacement. But unfortunately to do that, I've gone into my Bentley Assist CD, which you can buy, which is the service manual for these cars and many other Bentleys and Rolls-Royces. And it's given me, well, it's only a few steps, but what it says is that the center console has to be removed. So in this video I'm going to show you how to remove the center console, and we'll get the electrical switch out. Okay, so we're now sat in the car and I'll show you what the issue was. So in the center console here you've got the controls here for the temperature. Now on the left is the control for the speed effectively, and then you've got very similar dial over here. Now I've already removed the solid aluminium dial from it. I mean the materials in this car are great. This is proper solid aluminium. You know, you've got walnut here and leather here. It's fantastic. I've already taken the knob off this one, and what we have to do is now remove this whole center console to get it off, unfortunately. So the first thing we have to do is, down here there are two self-tapping screws which connect the center console onto basically the chassis of the car. There's another two on the other side, and you just remove these two self-tappers each side, so 4 screws. They're not the easiest things to get to, but you move the electric seats all the way forward and then remove them from the back and they'll come out. The next thing you need to do is to lift this radio up, and at the back of the radio here you will see 1 screw, 2 screws, which are obscured actually by the lid, so you need to sort of hold the lid down to get to them, and they don't line up desperately well, so you can get a screwdriver in there. Now the instructions say to remove, I think, 6 turns, but actually I've just been playing with this. Let's have a look. This is the words here, and it says approximately 6 turns. You see that? I needed to do it a lot more, so I'll show you how this works. This is a two-handed job, so I'll stick the camera here. So you have to bring this down a little bit and then work this out, and then it leans forward. So as it comes forward you have to really put the lid down, and this is what the piece looks like. Got a solid piece of walnut there, and then if I then close this, you can see now those 2 screws that we got to from the back. You have to get them far enough out or else it will not lift out. It gets caught under here, so you need to do way more than 6, and you don't want to do it too far because you'll drop those screws down the back. But as long as you can get it in and out, just keep going. I think I must have done about maybe between 10 and 15 turns in the end, but you'll just keep going until the panel can slide out. You don't need to force it, just keep doing more turns until the top panel, that little fascia cover, can be removed. Okay, so the next job is now to remove the ashtray console. So I'll show you how we do that. First thing to do is obviously open the ashtray here and just pull out the ashtray itself. If we look down in there, and I've got my torch here, if you can hopefully see, is a screw that's tucked right at the bottom there. Sorry, it's not very easy to show it on the video. I'll try and get the torch right in there. Any chance? Is it? So that little slot there, behind that, it's a bit dark, but there is a screw. It's not coming out very well in the video, I think, but there's a screw down there, and what you want to do is loosen that off. Again, not all the way, that is probably about 6-7 turns, and then again this is a slot, so let's try and put our hand in here and see if we can pull this unit out, and there we are. And this now comes out and we'll remove those connections from the cigar lighter. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, down here is these plastic, they call them ducts for the air vents. So that's connecting these metal air vents up here with where the air is coming from. There's one on either side, and what you have to do is simply reach in, pull them down. You can just get your fingers then over the top and they come up again. And I'll just have to do that on the other side as well. So in that side, just find it, gently pull it down till it's just below this slot, and that's now released. So we're now on to the next step, and we're on to step number 6 here, which is this part here. Remove the screws. So having gone through the effort of not taking these screws out, these are the ones at the top we looked at earlier, they now have to come completely out. The reason it says we have to do that is that this whole console here has to slide forwards. So it can already move a little bit, but it will hit these 2 screws. So I'm going to have to take those out fully, and then we'll pull the center console forwards, and then we can get to the electrical connections behind it, which will need to come off. So what I'm going to do next is remove these floor mats. If you've got the soft rugs, take them off, and then these base mats come up with these poppers. It's not good to pull the mat because it tends to want to pull this popper out, so you want to get your hand in there. There's one in the middle of the driver's seat here and the same on the other side, and then that will come up. What you also need to do is unscrew this circular ring that comes off under the accelerator pedal and allows the mat to then be removed over the pedal. What that does is then expose these side cloth panels, and they've got a clip down here at the bottom, so again, get your fingers under there and then clip it off, not just pulling the corner. At the top here is glued onto our center panel, so that's going to come along with it. So it's loose here, it's loose all the way at the bottom, and if I pull that back, you can see under there. Now I've got the cables here which you won't have, that's for a hands-free kit which I'm going to take out, but that will allow the center console to start to move forwards. When we then move it forwards, it's quite it's fine if you stick a hand in here, you can start to do a bit of movement. You obviously don't want to break anything, so you need to be very careful, especially with the electrical connections, but gently move the whole console backwards. So I found now what the instructions don't tell you is you have to remove this walnut fascia. So to do that, you need to get your hands actually through this hole here, and you can get round and just push up from underneath. Try not to pull too hard. When it's there, you can then pull it forwards, and you can see that there, and it will start to come loose. What I had to do first was remove these metal covers from the door mirrors. They just unscrew, just put a bit of pressure on them, just use your fingers, not any tools, and they should just come off. So the next thing is now to see how this actually comes off, and I might actually be able to get to my switch from here. So here we go, I've now managed to free it up. It was getting caught a little bit behind there, but it's fine, it just lifts up and comes over. Now it's obviously full of cables at the back, so depending on what your job you're doing, you would either disconnect all them, and that's where it says to label them on the instructions on the workshop manual. So obviously some of them, especially I think some of these switches will probably go back in different situations, different switches, so you want to label those ones and make sure you don't, if you are taking that apart, you don't put them on the wrong sockets afterwards. I had to put the gear stick all the way down into third gear, and then that helped to get this this panel off. So I'm looking to remove this white box now. I can't see any way to actually get these out. They seem to be glued in. These panels are glued in. So what you've got back here is a small bulb. The bulb sits in the back and comes out with a twisting motion. I think the red and the black go to light the bulb up, and then we've got these wires from the switch, and that one goes off and there's a connector in there. These ones come down, there's a connector here, so I'm actually just going to remove this whole white unit, and it's possible I might have to replace that as one whole item. Now I wanted to show you over here, is these connectors. Quite unusual things. You've got the coloured boxes at the end and then these little push pins, but confusingly I've just been playing with them trying to get them out, and the way they come out, if you can, I can show you that here, they simply pull apart. So actually the connectors in there, the coloured on the end, you don't touch that, it just stays there. So that's how they come apart. I'll just show you inside here whilst we're here, in case there's anything else that you were looking at if you're doing a different job. So back there is our screw from the removing the ashtray. If we come around here, I said earlier that these plastic ducts here and here were for the vents up here and here. That's what I understood. That's not quite true actually. They come down as a piece of white, it's just elastic actually, and that's how they're springy, so you can pull them down. They then go into these ducts, and the ducts go all the way underneath down here, and then they feed the ducts at the back here. So I'm now going to remove the radio as well, because I need to get a connector out of the back of it, and at the back here is a plate, and you can see a bolt there, so that's what's holding the back of the radio in. And then to the side you can see these bolts on the side which hold this metal frame in, which holds, if I can zoom out a bit, holds this panel in. Now the whole thing is connected to this, so I need to now remove those screws.